Hi, this is Angela Clark, and this is our project of the month for Quilt Path for February 2023. This month, we're going to be starting our journey to learn Pattern CAD. We will be creating our own designs using fonts and a heart that is already on your system. If you've never used Pattern CAD before, you will likely have a couple of hiccups while you're doing this and a little bit of frustration, but I know that you can get through them and create your own design. So I want you to take a deep breath and blow it out, and we're going to start stepping through learning Pattern CAD. From your home screen, you will choose Pattern CAD under Other Features on the right-hand side of your screen. So we're going to tap on Pattern CAD, which is going to open up your design software. The basics about this part of the program is that you have a design space in the center, which has a grid on it. You have a left panel that has buttons that, for the most part, are turn off and turn on of different features. And then on this right working panel, you've got all of your pattern drawing features and all your editing features. So we're going to be working mostly with a couple of the buttons on the left, and then we will be working in this pattern up at the top, this heading right here, and I want you to tap on the edit button. So we're going to be doing a lot with pattern edit, okay? To start out with, all I need to do is bring in the heart design. So I'm going to go to select pattern, and then I need to go to my block folder. Once I'm in my block folder, I'm going to scroll down until I see the heart.gpf file. I'll select that by tapping and then tap on open. That'll put your heart into your design space. Now, when your heart comes in here, you're going to see the start and stop point, and you'll see the nodes that are between the arcs. These are 4 arcs that make up this particular heart. And in a minute, or well, in a couple minutes, when we go to resize this after we have the rest of our design in here, I'll explain why I know that these are arcs. Okay, but just trust me for now that I know that they're arcs, and I will show you how you can tell that they are arcs too in a little while. Now, I need to put some more design elements onto the screen, and I want to protect my heart because I want to be able to use it later. So what I'm going to do is put this design onto the bottom layer. You have 2 working layers inside Pattern CAD. Think of them like 2 pieces of transparent paper. Right now, your heart is on the top piece, so you can edit it and you can add things to it or take things away because it's on the top. So I can use my eraser on it, or I can draw with my pencil and change what the design looks like. If I put it on the bottom layer, it would be like being able to trace something, right? So if I, on this left-hand side at the bottom, tap the swap button, you're going to notice that my nodes go away. I can no longer change this heart, but I can still see it on my screen. And this is going to allow me to be able to merge 2 designs together later, which is what I'm trying to get us to do today. So I need you to get your heart brought up onto your screen, and then we're going to hit the swap button and put it onto the bottom layer. Okay. After we do that, we're going to come up to plugins on the top right, and I'm going to tap on that. And then I want to tap on Font Stitcher. Okay. So we're going to tap on the Font Stitcher, and it will bring up a window that has a keyboard on it. It has Font Stitcher in the top left. You're going to see there's a save button, right? And then down here on the bottom right, it's going to let you choose which font you want. So I was in here earlier today, so it has the font that I chose last up here. If when you come in, it's probably going to say a different font. And that's fine. So you have a lot of fonts that are pre-installed on your Surface. They actually came with Windows, believe it or not. So we are using the Windows Fonts directory to get the fonts for you. And then there is a conversion or tool or an engine that lets us be able to use the outlines of those fonts to create designs inside of the program. So I'm going to be using Arial Black when I do my demonstration for you. You can actually use whichever font you want to. If you if you tap on the name, you'll see you have a whole bunch of different fonts you can choose from. And like I said, your fonts may vary a little bit from mine, but you can go through and choose whichever font you want. That's one way that you can change your font. And the other way you can change it is to hit the plus arrow, the other way you can choose them is to hit the plus button or the minus button and cycle through your fonts. If you have something typed in already, it will change as you're doing that. So I'm going to put my cap lock on. So I'm going to hit the lock and then, and then I'm going to come down here on the bottom and just type in the word love. And my cap lock is on. So those should definitely be capitalized letters, and they are not. I'm going to make sure that it really is on. Okay, well, it's unhappy, so we're going to try one more time. There we go. Okay, so I want love, and in my case, I decided I wanted it in all caps. You can choose if you want caps in lowercase. That's your choice. You get to do whatever you want. This is going to be your design when you get done. Okay? Okay, and I also decided that I wanted to use Arial Black, but I want to go through here and show you that as you're tapping your plus sign, it's going to change your fonts. Now, some of the fonts are going to look like this when you come in. These are going to be a lot harder to use than ones that look like they are just, a solid L instead of having the two rectangles. If you use this one, you would need to actually understand how to edit things a lot more than what this lesson is going to be teaching you right now. So if you have more advanced editing skills already, feel free to use one that has blocks like this. If you're new though, let's go ahead and use one that's going to be easier for you. You still have a lot of choices without using the ones that have the rectangle, two rectangles for the L. Okay, and you can see there's quite a few that do. And then in a minute, I should come across one that's not made that way. There we go. Like these are not made that way. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to Arial Black because that's the one I decided I wanted to use. Okay, and then I'm going to say, okay, I want to use this font. Now, it's going to then come up and ask me, do you wish to save your file? And the correct answer is yes. Okay, so we're going to say yes. And then you can save your file any way you want. I'm going to go ahead and start a new folder, and I'm going to call my folder POM for Project of the Month. Okay. And then I'm going to go into my POM folder, right? And I'm just going to call this font so I know which one it is. Okay. Okay, so now if I went to select pattern and I went into here, right? So you can see I'm still in my block POM folder. There's my font that I just saved. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out because I don't need to save it again. But what we're going to be doing is using love. Now, what I want to do is replace my O in love with the heart. Okay, so I want to delete the entire O. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll make sure that we're in pattern, edit, okay, and then the O is a complete section or segment, right? So once it starts quilting the O, it's going to go all the way around and complete the outer part of the O. Then it would have a jump stitch and do the inner part. So I can use that to my advantage. I know that it's going to do that, right? So I can use select section because it will let me select just one of these nodes and it will select all of the nodes at one time for that one section. The way that you would select something in Pattern CAD, or the way I'm going to suggest you select it for this project in Pattern CAD, is something called a tap and pull. When I tap on my screen and I keep my finger on my screen and pull across the surface of my tablet, you're going to see a pink box appear. If I keep pulling down so that I come over my heart, or my the outside of my O, and then let go, you're going to see the entire outside of my O turned red. Once I see that, I can come over to the right and just tap the word delete. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the inside of the O. Tap, pull, release, and then hit delete. Okay, so I took the O off of my screen. Okay, so now I need to get these two designs together, and I need my heart to be able to fit into the space. So I want to be working on my heart now. So I want to swap my two pieces of clear paper, put my heart on top of my letters. To do that, I just hit the swap button on the left. Right? And now we can see the nodes on our heart again. And this time I want everything on this layer selected. So I can just tap select all, and I want to resize it, right? I want to make it smaller. So I'm going to tap on the size button. Okay. I want the aspect ratio locked. Which means that I want the height and the width to stay in the same relationship with each other while I'm resizing. So this lock up here at the top, I need to look like it's locked. So I'm going to tap on it once so it looks like a locked padlock. Okay. And then I get to choose how much, what the increment of change is, okay, how much it's changing at one time. So tiny is not going to move this thing very much. If I reduce it once on tiny, it only reduces it a little bit. I know I need to reduce it a lot, so I'm going to hit the step button twice to make my change medium, and I'm going to resize it. It's going to take several times to get it small enough for it to get down to about the same size as the L, V, and E, right? So if I think I need it one more to get it to the right size. Okay, so now I want to be able to see if this is the right size, and I want to get the nodes off of my screen so I can see them. I want them to stay selected, so I'm not going to play with the heart in any way. I'm just going to turn the nodes off by tapping the nodes button on the top left of, it's on the top left of the left working panel, right up here, right underneath the big red X, says nodes. So that's the on and off button for your nodes. So it looks like I did get this to be the same size. So I need my heart to move over to the left. Okay. So I can either grab where I know one of the nodes are. I know that there is a node right here where the heart joins, and I can pull it over. But I really want to make sure that it stays in the correct relationship with the letters. So it's easier for me in this case to use my move buttons. And it's going to move by that same increment of change. I'm going to hit the button, the arrow to the left, and start moving it left until I get it where I want it to be. Now I can change my step increment to like tiny and say I want you, move just a little bit. Believe it or not, it is moving when I do that. But the whole idea behind this is to get your heart exactly where you want it to be. So let's say that I want my heart to be right here. Okay. And I would really like my L to be closer to my heart. Okay. Well, first of all, I do want all of these to be on the same level at some point. So when I get my heart in the correct relationship to the VE, and I would work with whichever side has more letters in this case, right? So my VE is more letters than an L. I like the spacing here. So I'm going to go ahead and merge these together. To merge the two designs together, you hit the merge button on the left side. It's on the bottom left. And when I hit merge, it is going to merge the two layers together and then put it on the top layer. So if I turn my nodes back on, you're going to see all the nodes for everything. I only have one design now, and it's all on my top layer. I'm going to go back to pattern edit, and I'm going to choose select. And I want to unselect all because I don't want my heart to be selected anymore. But I would like to move my L over towards the rest of my heart and the rest of my letters. So I'm going to make sure that select section still has that green check mark. And then I'm going to tap and pull so that my L is selected. And then go to move. And I'm going to move my L to the right. So I'm going to use the move button, start moving it to the right. I would probably go ahead and turn my nodes off again on the top left, just so that I can see it a little bit better, right? Okay, so I like the way it looks right there. As soon as you have it the way you want it to look, you're ready to save it. So I'm going to hit the save button. And this time I'm going to name it Love. Okay, so the word is now saved. If I wanted to optimize this, which I do, there's another step I need to take, and it has to do with arcs in particular. Arcs have got an issue with optimization. It is a known issue, and they are working on it. But for now, we need to take the arcs out of the equation. So I told you I would tell you how to tell if you had arcs in something. Turn the nodes on real quick, and I'm going to hit select all. So select and do select all. You see these blue boxes that come up on the heart? Those blue boxes are pull lines, and these top two kind of lobes on the top of your heart, those are both arcs. The ones on the bottom are actually splines. And I can tell that because there's only one blue handle, that's what those little blue squares are called, on the tops of my heart, but on the bottom, there's two. So the only design tool that has two handles on it is a spline. And if you only have one and it's right on the line that you've pulled, that curve, it's an arc. If it was something called a parabola, it could be anywhere out here, but it wouldn't be right on the line. Okay, so you can tell which is which just by looking to see what's on your screen. Spline lines, handles can actually be out all over the place too. The only ones that'll only be on the actual line all of the time is an arc. These splines just happen to be there, and that's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I want those to go away. Okay, because like I said, when I go to optimize this, I'm going to have a problem if it's there. It's going to reshape that heart, and it's not going to be pretty. Okay, so we're going to go to File up at the very top left corner of the screen. So we're at the word File, and then I want you to come down here to where it says Flatten Pattern. Tap the Flatten Pattern, and you're going to see now I have all kinds of nodes. So it's no longer arcs or splines, it's segmented lines. Okay, so that's the way I want it to look before I start optimizing. Okay, so now all we have to do is optimize the design. So we're going to go into optimize, which is right almost center in the button bar at the top of your screen. Tap on that, and it's going to bring up your design. I really want this to quilt from left to right. That's the only reason that I'm going in here. So I'm going to start with my L on the left. I want that to be number 1. So whatever is between the minus and the plus sign is what my little yellow dot is going to change to when I click on it. So 1 is correct. I want the 4 to be a 2. So I'm going to come down between the minus and the plus sign, tap once so it says 2, and then I'm going to tap where the 4 was, and that became 2. So now it's going to do the L and then the heart. Now I want it to do the V. You're going to notice it changes to 3 automatically because it thinks you want to do them in sequential order. And I'm going to tap on my 3. Sorry, I did it and then retapped on it. So it became a 4, and then my last letter is going to be number 4. So, and then I'm going to say, okay, because you want these jump stitches, because you want them to be separated, because we're going to use this the same way we did last month. And we're going to applique colors on top, colored fabric on top of a solid piece of fabric in my case. So I'm using the quilting that you learned last month so that we can reinforce that this month. And what I was doing this month was teaching you how to do the design. Guys, I really hope you guys are enjoying our projects of the month. We are really enjoying getting to be creative with you and teach you new things. Please remember to join the Quilting Academy if you have not already done that. We are on Mighty Network. And then also, like, comment, and share on our Facebook pages, on our Facebook pages, but also on the YouTube, which is where you're going to have seen this video. Once again, I'm Angela Clark, and I am with Threadwaggle Quilting. Thank you.